Reacher Season 3, Episode 7's out, and I'm just going to go ahead and say these seasons are too long for what the show is. You can tell there's been a couple episodes this season where they're trying to stretch the plot out, and they're probably adding things in that aren't in the book just based on kind of how convoluted and messy it gets. And there's a lot of dumb stuff that happens in these parts that feel like they're not part of the original source. This episode overall is just kind of a boring mess. There's a couple little scenes in here that I like, but a lot of this just feels like we need to fill 45 minutes to get to the climax because Amazon said so. And I'm sure this is all motivated by Amazon, and Lord knows how many analysts that are saying 8 is the optimal number for minutes watched in a season or whatever else. But I tend to be a proponent of the story should be as long as it needs to. And that's one of the advantages of streaming is you don't have to have 10 exactly 1 hour episodes or fill out 24 episodes that are 45 minutes each with 15 minutes for commercials left over. You can just kind of do whatever you want. And this episode is also another partial Neagly spin-off ad. So let's just get into it. This is probably going to be a short one because the episode is pretty uneventful and kind of dumb. Neagly confronts Kostopoulos, who sent the 2 hitmen after her. She threatens him, gets the information she needs, and relays that info to Reacher while Reacher's out in LA, essentially extorting an art dealer who has 2 priors. Reacher and Duffy finally hook up because Reacher agrees to prioritize Teresa. And we get this little bait and switch throughout the episode that I'm not sure what I think of quite yet about what it does to Reacher's character. But the sex scene is disgusting. The only titties we see are Alan Richton's, and then we fade to black. They go confront this guy who's been convicted a couple times. He runs an art shop now. Presumably he's still doing illegal things, but he's never been caught. This whole thing is weird to me because the DEA is working with Duffy and Reacher repeatedly just threatened to bog the guy down in court, bring up the consequence of the 3 strikes laws, and blackmail him into helping them out by setting up a fake gun deal with Beck. And I have no idea how any of this would hold up in court, so it kind of seems like they just skipped over that whole part here. The scene itself is fine, but I'm not sure how much sense it makes. Then we cut over to Neagly and Beck's fake gun deal, and she essentially says to Beck, "Tell the driver I tried to bargain with you and you walked away." And Reacher is their only chance for survival because she found out from Kostopoulos that the last time McCabe was about to get caught, he killed everybody and fled town. We finally get to the highly valued Teresa. We can see she's drugged up. McCabe says crazy things again about what he'd like to do to her. All this stuff that's just kind of unnecessary. It's all been explained. It's all been referenced. We already understood. Just gotta get the minutes washed up, I guess. They figure out that because of the immediacy of the gun run, and they don't need massive shipping and much time, that it's going to be used for a terrorist attack here in the States. Reacher asks Duffy to reach out to the FAA, check the flights because there's a private one that they're looking for specifically. And this is them trying to figure out more details about the gun deal. And him and Neagly step off and have a conversation. He talks about how much Cole meant to him and how much Neagly means to him and how dangerous it's going to be. I feel like Reacher's talking about his feelings a lot more this season. I don't know if I'm just misremembering, but it does feel like he's been a lot more open than previous seasons, at least verbally. And we go to probably what's the best scene of the episode between Beck and Richard. And he walks in on Richard trying to fix the toy gun, and he gives it to him, and he's kind of overcome with emotion because of how thoughtful it is. And he essentially says that he fucked up, and after the mother died, he tried to keep Richard away by being kind of a dick to him because he was afraid of when he was going to die, what it would do to Richard after he already lost his mom. It's a nice father-son moment. Neagly uses their FAA hookup to tail the buyers, and this is like the least subtle tail I've ever seen. You can see that she's just sitting there with her window open, watching them. And as soon as they drive by, she just falls in line like she's part of the entourage. It seems kind of lazy. Or very weirdly edited, if that's not the case. Beck very unsubtly tries to get more details from Quinn/McCabe, and he finds out that it's going to be at 9 o'clock during his birthday party. And the location, which is obviously fake, Quinn's been way smarter than everyone this whole time. And it's very transparent to me what's happening, where Beck is pretty overtly trying to get information from him. And it's very suspicious and fishy. Just makes the whole thing seem kind of dumb. Duffy and Villanueva reveal to Reacher that they're bringing the ATF in for the resources, and they're worried about this being a massive firefight, when her goal, in case you didn't hear it the first 1,000 times, is to save Teresa. Reacher's pissed, and it seems like he's going to go along with it. And this is the bait and switch that I'm not sure what I think of character-wise for him. First of all, the guy in charge actually says, none of you are welcome in on this. Everything you did was illegal. Go fuck yourself. And once again, this show does the thing where they're like, well, we want to come along, and someone just changes their mind for no fucking reason. We get a conversation between Duffy and Reacher where she's saying that essentially she wants Reacher to live and to save Teresa, and asking him to understand her position. And he says that he understands. And this sets up for him to be misleading her by the end of the episode. And the rest of the episode is the build up for the finale. Beck's at his party. He tells his son where he needs to be at 9 o'clock to keep him safe. And this is where we find out where Reacher was not honest with Duffy. He went and got a sniper, and he said that he understood her position, but he didn't care. He's taking Quinn out. And again, it just reinforces how stupid it would be for the ATF to let these guys come along with them after everything else they did, and when they've already openly talked about how their careers were over. And while I don't necessarily have a problem with Reacher prioritizing his revenge while also trying to save Teresa, it is a weird kind of character choice here, where he essentially, after all season trying to save Teresa seemingly, reverts to, fuck Teresa, I'm getting revenge. I mean, typically, this would be the kind of like villain arc origin story where they chose the mission over innocent lives. I'm guessing because it's Reacher that it'll all work out. He'll get his revenge and Teresa and save the day. But I'm still not sure I'm a huge fan of that, just as a decision for his character. And we find out, pretty unsurprisingly, that this location and time was a trap, and now everything's gonna be a clusterfuck for the finale. Overall, the episode was very meh. Maybe the low point of the season for me, along with the flashback episode. I'm hoping the finale is good, but I suspect we're going to get a crazy, over-the-top, weird finale like we did for season 2. But hopefully it's well executed and fun. We'll see. I'm going to leave it there for this one. I know this video was late because I had family in town. But if you've seen it, let me know what you think. I try to respond in the comments that aren't just insults. Like and subscribe and all that shit. Thanks. See ya.